So, hello, listener.
Hey,
Um,
how
it's
y'all doing?
been a while. I'm Emma.
And I'm Dolly.
Um, and we're back.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot has happened in the last 11 months since we've posted. Um,
yeah, life fell apart a bit.
and
I don't know,
also,
we're back together, but it's a little bit back together.
yeah, I mean, there was also the issue that we couldn't find any sponsors for our podcast, and so we had to take a hiatus in order to reconvene and talk about what we were gonna do.
Yeah, like the funds weren't coming in. And they're
hmm
still not coming in. I'm still talking on a karaoke mic. But we
Yeah,
do it out of the passion. We do it out of the love.
funny enough, we're somehow making less money than when we started. Right now, we're doing this for
What?
free.
Well, we just have to, get back into it, and then the sponsors will come.
Exactly. So that's why. Well, we're here for multiple reasons, actually.
We're here for money. That's all.
Yeah, we don't actually care about ambition. We're just doing this for the money and for the fame because everybody knows what ambition is.
Yeah. Okay. In seriousness, we have
Mm,
returned.
yes.
Because it is Maggie, one of the creator's birthday.
Yup.
Happy birthday, Maggie.
Happy birthday.
Um, Maggie has been asking us for 11 months when this is going to return.
Begging,
Um,
pleading, begging, hoping. I'm pretty sure she's pointed a knife at me before because of us stopping the podcast.
um, and so we're back. Um,
Mhm.
we don't really have like a schedule figured out quite yet. Um, keep your peepers peeled, I guess, and we'll let
Yeah.
you know.
It'll be
Um,
probably sporadic. I mean, cause we can't keep doing it, like, every week on a Saturday, cause sometimes life gets in the way. So
yeah. Yeah, it's probably not gonna be a weekly thing. Well, we have some meetings again, like, it all depends if we get our sponsors that we want.
yeah, of
So
course, of course. If the sponsors if we get a good amount of sponsors, we might be doing this every day, actually. We're gonna get through Ambition real quick.
So yeah, if you are listening and don't know what ambition is, I don't know why you're here, but if you want to know more, you can find out more at Ambition Source on Tumblr.
Exactly.
Um,
And with that oh, shit.
and you swear.
I was saying, with that, there comes a warning where this is not going to be a spoiler free podcast and there's going to be profanity. So if you're not chill with that, then you might want to get out of here. But nicely.
With
I'm not trying
that,
to kick nobody out.
but like get the fuck
Yeah.
out. But if you're cool with it, sit back, relax, and pour yourself a cup of ambition.
Ooh. Actually,
Um,
that's so fun because something happens in this episode that brings it
yes.
all back. Right. Wow.
So
Honestly,
this is the 8th episode called "These Boots Aren't Made for Dancing."
mm, was anybody wearing boots? I don't
Um,
know.
Lucas slayed the house boots down with his little combat boots.
That's true. Yeah. Well, the episode starts with a gift. Honestly, because who else but Zay Babineau performing? Honestly, the song's not my favorite, but whatever. He's performing.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
important.
not like I literally, to be honest, I don't like Megan Trainor, but Zay can make anything better. So that was
Exactly.
fun. If it was him, then I would be like, yes.
I
So I
literally
just
was like, I'm not a fan of the song, or just like it's too poppy, but it's because Say's performing that it's so good.
Exactly. We're biased, and that's okay.
And also it's kind of cute
Um,
because like the performers are dancing, but they're also like getting the techies involved. It's like, ooh, okay.
I love the little bit about Jeff dancing well.
Oh yeah.
Um, Meanwhile, Dave is knocking over Death while he's dancing.
He's trying his best. Because he's a big man. Okay,
He
he's a
is.
big dude. Like apparently he's a giant compared to everybody else.
He has gangly limbs. Well, I guess they're not gangly. He just like has a lot to work with to try to coordinate.
I really do like how this episode is we're including the techies and the performers together, and there's not as much heat or like drama between
Animosity
them.
between
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
exactly. There's not that much hate. I'm like, oh, thank God for like once.
It's a little less messy. Yeah, so Sean and Angela explain again that like they're swapping roles to just kind of like better understand each other.
hmm
Um Angela says considering both sides of the class have now come to a truce, and Charlie says this school is bananas.
but
Which I thought
fondly, so that's cute.
yeah. Um yeah. And so the next scene they're at lunch
Oh God, yeah.
and Maya and Farkle are like complaining. They're like, this is bullshit. And
When
Charlie
are they
says,
never like they're always complaining about something? Like where it's like, oh my God, I can't figure out what I'm gonna perform, or you're taking my song, or like, bro, like relax. Is it that serious? No. But they're teenagers, so I
for
guess
them.
everything is serious for them.
It's teenagers and their theater kids, which is like the most
God.
scary combination of so Charlie's like, maybe it'll be good for you to learn something, which I was like,
Oh,
"See?" And then Maya
oh,
says, I'm
Charlie's.
sorry. She says, I'm sorry. When did we promote you to speaking level? And I'm trying to be nicer to Maya, but that pissed me the fuck off. I was like, really?
Like every time she says something, it's either like petty or just bitter. Like, ugh, fine. I'm allow it to pass because I don't know. She's poor. I don't know.
Oh my god. Um, but yeah.
Oh,
And then
Zay gives Charlie a little
yeah,
playful nudge. Ooh,
and he almost chokes on his food. Hoo, hoo,
like
hoo.
weaken the knees, stand up. And
Uh,
okay, I love the next scene because Lucas like comes up and he's like, "All right, here's the shit that you need to learn." And then you know what pisses me off was that Maya's being like mocking about it, like, "Oh, are you gonna perform?" And then she says the most annoying ass nickname. I get PTSD when I think about it, which is like Huckleberry. I get trauma. But Farkle's like, you're going to embarrass yourself. And I was like, not him talking shit when he literally wakes up every day and decides to choose to wear a blazer. When he's literally always embarrassing himself because not him coming from my man's. Not him coming from my man's. Anyways, I'm
his,
sorry.
his life is an embarrassment, kind of. So
Ooh.
that's me. We so mean.
I think it's allowed just
Um,
because of how mean he can be sometimes.
it's okay. I secretly. Well, no, I'm not gonna admit that. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna admit
don't admit that on air where people can clip that.
that.
Do
Use it
not give
against
people
me.
ammunition, por favor.
Um. So then Lucas laughs along, which in the notes it says, "In some ways, this is scarier than if he showed anger."
That is pretty funny. Lucas
Um,
is a little scary.
but he's saying, you have to get signed off, um, for like your work during Tech Week or
hmm
whatever, or the week where they're swapping. And he's like, "Do you have any guesses who that senior tech might be?" And Charlie goes, "Is it you?" And Lucas is like, "See you all in the lab."
I know, but honestly, the best part about that is his little smiley face. Like, there's just like, I love when they write like the actual smiley face like that because it's just I can see it so in my head the way that he's smiling.
Yes.
It's so cute and funny. I would be scared.
Well, would you be scared or would
No, let's go to the next one. Don't put me on the spot like this. Right, the next scene. Well, it's Riley and Isadora. They're talking about something like the assignment, I guess. But not me always focusing on like the aura, or because when Lucas goes to sit down next to them, he like bumps Riley with his shoulder. I'm like, ooh, look at that. They're touching shoulders. This is a lot.
The rituals. Again, they're like literally Victorian people, like
This is the Pride and Prejudice handhold.
bumping into each
Okay, I'm sorry.
um,
I always have to say something about RL.
no, I
They make my
get it.
happy heart. I'm sorry. What did you say?
I didn't say anything. I was you said they make my happy heart.
Oh, make my heart happy.
It's okay, they make your happy heart. Um, okay, then Issa is like, "I just want everything to be normal."
Well,
And girl,
well,
it's
at
because
this
as soon as
school,
she says that, Issa, being Valerie's daughter is out in the tabloids now.
hmm
Oh.
which,
And
whoop,
go ahead.
yeah. Oh no,
Go
no,
ahead.
that's all I said, which is oop.
Um, and so next we see Sean and Angela's reaction to it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy." Then they start making out in their office.
Yeah, like,
It was
I
hot,
don't want to see that.
it was hot, but it's infraction 1 because they
Yeah,
need to stop looking up their office.
like anybody can
Um,
walk in.
for real. And Farkle is like hiding in there half the time. So you
He's
never know.
actually he's actually there right this second. He's actually in the closet eating his lunch.
Because he got dragged by Lucas.
Literally,
Um,
he ran to find Angela. Yeah,
and
so
Angela
yeah.
is talking about auditioning again, and
Mm,
it's a little like, ooh, how does Sean feel about that? We don't really know yet. Um,
hopefully, hopefully they'll make it through this little thing that they're gonna have to deal with when
I
she
hope
starts auditioning for parts. You think he's
so
gonna? I actually don't remember what happens. I'm like, what the fuck happens? Does Sean like break up with her again? I can't remember. So it's honestly, even though I've read all of this before, it's gonna be a surprise for me too, guys. So we are here together because I have the worst memory. Oh, the next scene is so cute to me, by the way. Just like the fact that Riley, Lucas, and Issa, they're in Eric's office, and Jack is also there. But I think what's really funny to me is that while Riley and Lucas are like talking to Eric, and they're like frustrated about what happened with the article, Jack's also like feeding off their energy, and I'm like, "Ooh, let's go, King!" Ooh,
I like when he gets passionate and angry, so I enjoyed that.
very hot. Go,
Yeah.
King.
But while they're upset, Issa is just like, "Can we just ignore this?" Um, like, whatever. And then Jack is like, "Okay, well, we can do that, but I'm gonna do whatever I can to get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna put a stop to this." She says, "Oh, yeah? You can't even figure out who's running an anonymous Insta account for a high school of 200 students. You're really going to deduce the source of a nationally printed tabloid?" And Jack's like, "Bro, what the fuck?" She's like,
Like
"Sure, give it a try.
that was
Otherwise, I really just
so
wanna go back to
embarrassing.
the usual routine." Yeah, she kinda
She
gagged him.
she did not need to scalp him like that
But
because
I
she did that
love
in
that.
front of Riley, Lucas, and Eric. Ooh, Damn. I would have to take a breather. I'd be like, all right, give me a second. Give me a second. That hurt me.
He's just trying to help. Like, this is the one time where he's trying to
He's
do.
actually trying his best as the principal. Like, he's a millennial. Wait, is he a millennial? What is he? A boomer? No, he's not a boomer. How old is he? Is he in his 30s?
Yeah. No, isn't he like 40?
Is he 40? Ooh, okay.
Let me see what the actors.
That's so wild that he's
He's
so old.
42.
That's like, but for teenagers, that's like 80. They're like, ugh, not this old man trying to talk to me. I think that's so funny to me. He's just like, damn, I was just trying to help. Because when
He's
she
Gen
said
X,
that, oh, he's Gen X. Okay, okay.
so he's
Are
in between boomer and millennial.
wow, damn. I didn't even know that existed.
They're like often called the forgotten generation
Yeah, they are
because
kind of forgotten.
they get forgotten, and also because like none of their parent like they were, I don't know, like everyone was doing drugs and like no one gave a
No
shit, so they like legitimately got forgotten at home. Um,
way. Honestly, I'm. Is the next scene like an infraction?
what is it? Wait, hold
It.
on. Oh yes, but hold on, because at the end of this one, Jack says, this is the first time you've left one of our offices without saying something inappropriate or knocking something over to Lucas, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
But yes, I do have an infraction for this next scene.
I just.
So Zay pops in after that's over, and um, he's like, "Yeah, come in," because he like asked Zay to talk. Um, and then Charlie walks in,
Mm,
and Charlie sees Zay and is like, "Oh," he freaks out a bit, but he pulls himself together, which, I mean, very interesting. Like,
mhm.
and
Mhm.
like he's very repressed and scared and like policing himself about everything, where like literally nothing has happened and there's no way to like know anything anyways, but like he's so sure that any sort of feeling is like deserving of judgment and punishment, like, oh, that like it needs to be intervened or something, which is very sad. But he's able to like, I don't know, a lot of him is like putting on a performance, um so he pulls himself together really fast.
He's a good actor.
Hmm.
Like the way that he's able to just trick everybody. Well, I feel like Dylan was like
Delulu.
Dylan knew. He's like, I'm gonna leave that alone because it's not my business. Like, and I think that's so funny.
It's so funny. But so the real reason why Eric asked him, is not to question if they're gay, but is to see, basically because Charlie and Zay are like the most liked students, he's
Hmm.
asking them to like make sure both of the techies and the performers get along. And there's even a line that says, "There's a bit of a question of like, isn't that Eric's job?"
Literally.
But Zay and Charlie exchange a look and then agree, which is like, okay,
Well,
I
it's
know
not like
they're
they can't
very proud,
agree.
but I'm putting it as like a minor infraction.
Yeah,
Um,
cause like they could say, "Oh, I don't want to do it," but then Eric might be like, "Oh, so you don't want to help your class?"
like I think it's good and creative to be like using students as an example for good, and also like to just like utilize those relationships, right? Like I think it makes sense.
Hmm.
And I have been asked to be like, a peer leader for my fellow classmates like multiple times. But it is also like you should also be doing something, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
just feel like
Don't leave it
the
on the
staffs like
student.
they don't like do their job sometimes.
I wonder how much
Like
they're getting paid because I feel like a lot of the money should go to some of the students, mainly Riley, because she therapied
literally
everybody.
she is the guidance counselor, like, Eric, you're jobless. But no, yeah, I feel like, yeah, because I don't think, does he? check in on anyone else in the rest of the episode, I don't think. Like,
No. He doesn't
so,
do anything else after that, which is like, okay, thanks,
I don't
King,
know.
for not doing your job. And then he has the audacity to be mad with Jack for doing his job. Like, okay, let's look in the mirror, Eric. But whatever, I will be nice.
So then afterwards, Zay and Charlie leave and they say, like, we don't know what we're supposed to be doing because he gives them zero guidance as the guidance counselor. Um, but Charlie's like, yeah, we'll try their best. And then Zay says together and pats him on the shoulder. And
Yeah,
Charlie smiles.
always the little touches, like, oh, again, it's like Pride and Prejudice handhold. It's the hands.
It's the
And
hands, man.
and Charlie glanced at his hand too before he like smiles, which is like, ooh, ooh, they are
Mhm.
so good together.
Yes. It's a good episode for Riley and Lucas
And
and
Zay
Zay
and
and
Charlie be,
Charlie.
they had a lot of good moments. I was like, ooh, damn, we being fed
I
today.
forgot how much like Riley and Lucas there was in this episode. I was like, I was living.
I was, well, honestly, screaming for a lot of moments. I was like, they're touching. They're looking at each other. The next scene, a fave.
Oh, wanna know? Can you
The
show me?
songs, first of all, it's a performance by the sophomores, and it's "Strangers Like Me" by Phil Collins. And I just want to say that he, honest to God, put his whole philosophy into that soundtrack. Like, honest to God, there is nothing better than listening to that soundtrack. Woo! Anyways, but this entire scene was very beautiful. The montage between like the class and they're helping each other out. The techies are helping the performers learn how to do techie shit, which I don't know the exact things. And the performers are
They're
helping.
doing a lot of
Yeah, there's like a lot of things that they're doing. But I love the song. I love the scene. Did I rate? Was there a performance before this? Oh
there
yes.
was the better when I'm dancing.
Yeah, I just want to
Oh
say I
yeah.
ranked that 7 out of 10. And
Oh
mainly
yeah, I
because
forgot
of
you
Zay.
ranked it. We don't remember how we did things.
Yeah, I was like, wait, let me rank it quick.
Um okay, yeah, so we see things like Jay teaching them how to costume.
Mm-hmm.
Um Issa runs them through basic stage stuff and she almost knocks Farkle off the stage.
She should have knocked him off,
Um
but whatever.
which I said I need to start a Farkle almost died counter at this point because he like is getting injured all the time.
He needs some milk.
And then on the lyrics, every
Mm,
gesture, every move that she makes make me feel like never before. It's focused on Charlie and Zay, and
God.
Charlie is like watching Zay help Issa and Asher with choreography. And he is struggling with something, swallowing hard like he's dying of thirst. Maybe he is.
Boy
um,
is struggling to not feel. And he's feeling a whole lot.
um, and you can do the Riley and Lucas bit.
Yeah, okay. So there's like another lyric moment where it's like, why do I have this growing need to be beside her? And that moment belongs to Riley and Lucas. And it's so, oh my god, because the scene is that he and Dave are teaching her something about the pieces, like something about
They're
set
how to
pieces.
move set pieces.
And like Riley's talking and saying something like silly or goofy, and Lucas catches himself smiling at her like an idiot. Oh my god. It's just it's you can't even speak because they're so cute. Lucas this entire episode was really going through it because he like keeps looking at her and he's like smiling. He's like, oh, wait a second, I'm supposed to be grumpy and I'm supposed to be gruff and edgy. But he fails because when he's next to Riley,
Flops hard.
god, they're so good. I'm sorry, I don't want to derail, but
No, I love it. Go off. It's a very precious moment. I like that moment. I was gonna say I like the Charlie and Lucas parallels going on here. Um, of
true.
like how they're kind of going through similar things, and both kind of trying to fight it. Um,
True, true.
which is interesting. Especially with like their friendship blossoming in season 3, I am more interested in seeing like the parallels between them because when you get down to it, they actually are quite similar, even though you would think they're very opposite because Lucas is very like gruff and Charlie is like really nice and lets people walk all over him all the time.
Yeah,
But they have I don't know, I think it's cool how they're like in some ways intertwined even when before they like were friends and stuff, like especially in season 2 as well. So
true.
I have
Wow,
my eye on that.
you is examining.
And oh, there's this part where there Maya is also doing the choreography and Lucas glares at her and she's singing the
she's a,
song, which I enjoyed.
she's like, I'm not dealing with that today. I don't have it in me.
Good, move on.
Oh my god! And then the next scene, there's another lyric where it's like, "Come with me now to see my world." And Lucas brings Riley into the tech booth for like the very first time, which this is like him. The fact that she's the only one who got to be up there, because I don't think any of the other students
Mm.
were up there. She was the only one allowed up there.
It might be that people were allowed up after, I think, because I think Chai was like doing it, but it's like it's different. It's
Oh,
different
I
than
don't,
like
I don't want to, I
Lucas.
don't want to hear it.
I don't
I
want to hear
literally,
that.
I don't want to hear it. In my mind, Riley's the only one allowed in there.
What I'm saying is it's different because like Lucas, who was like that's his domain, is like
Yeah,
bringing her there first.
you're right. Exactly. Oh my god, they're just there's something about them that appeal to me, and I'm not going in depth because I don't want to go in depth because I will derail.
Well, I'll go
But then
depth.
you're, but oh, okay.
I don't Well, you can go ahead. I want you to, feel free to scream.
Well, the thing is, Riley's looking at the view of the stage and she's like, "Oh my god, this shit is so cool." And Lucas isn't looking at that, right? He's looking at her. Only at her. He can't stop looking. And honestly, it's so good to see him put like slowly allow himself to feel something for her, because you could tell like in the first couple of episodes he didn't want to like be friendly or allow himself to have feelings. And it's like slowly she's like breaking down the walls. Even without her knowing that she's doing that. I'm emotional because knowing what happens in like the end of the season pisses me off because it's like all this progress
Yeah,
and it's
it's
I
it's rough.
can't.
Yeah, I said I love this moment. It's really vulnerable of him to bring her in here, which he's not usually very vulnerable, but it's like this is his sanctuary. It's literally his home, like where he sleeps,
Yeah,
and
but it's
he's very protective of it, but like she's allowed in.
it's
Um,
everything to me.
yeah. And we also have well, we're gonna see them again in a second, but I love this. The only downbeat is Farkle, who is clearly struggling with every task put in front of him. Poor little diva. Such a little
He
loser. That's so big, but like
literally like he can't do anything. Not good at costuming. Can't pick up set pieces because he's so
he's
skinny and
bro.
lanky. Not good at like anything besides
We're
singing.
literally the reason why he hates him. Like we're a bully.
But you know who else had a lot of problems with this task? Lucas. Lucas sucks at performing. He doesn't want to do it.
Hmm.
He hates it completely. And you know, but you know what's
Guilty of
funny?
it.
That the only reason, because I don't know if we've spoken about this in the other episodes. I can't remember. But Maggie had said that in like before, we don't see it, but in freshman year, Lucas did try to
Yeah.
like perform. Like he tried his best to perform, and unfortunately, Farkle bullies him, and he's like, "Fuck this! I don't want to perform anymore." And he like completely like becomes who we see now. And I'm like, you know
Mhm.
what? Farkle is the reason for Lucas's like trauma at performing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought you were gonna say, like, all of it. I was like, I don't know if that's true,
Not
but
all of the trauma that he unfortunately has, but for sure, like the performing, because he tried his best in freshman year, and it wasn't enough for these freaking divas.
mhm, yeah.
It makes me
It's
sad.
very interesting as, think about the effect. Because does Farkle even think about that? No, probably not. He only thinks, "Oh, Lucas never even tried before," but he doesn't think of the impact of his words.
hmm But to be fair, didn't he have like a crush on Lucas in freshman year? I feel like
Yeah.
he completely forgot about all of that because he's like, "Oh my god, Lucas hot," which is like, "You
I think
asshole."
what with Farkle is, like, he likes people who hate him and are mean to him, and I don't know, he probably
You
was
think
like,
he?
"Oh, this is, like, flirting to be like, 'You
You,
fucking suck, I hate you,'" or, like, his way of, like, dealing with those emotions, but it's like, okay, you just, like, ruined the vibe.
you think he self sabotaged his relationship with Lucas by like bullying him and being like, "Oh, now he hates me." Good.
I don't
What?
like,
Poor
I
guy.
think that's funny to me to think of that there is a possibility that that they could if and I mean, maybe, I don't know. What if
like
what if
if
this was happening with Farkle?
like if Farkle had just shut up and like been nice to Lucas in the in freshman year, like he might have been a little bit nicer to him.
Farkle needed
Lucas,
to shut up a lot of times. He's
literally.
he should have kept quiet way too long. We're so mean. Like,
God.
shut up. Be
You
silent.
would think that after having to deal with all of his like older siblings and also his younger siblings, like he would be like, I don't know. But then again, I don't know. Maybe he's
Well,
it's
that's
because
the
he's being ignored that he's like acting out. Ugh.
thing. He wants the attention, he wants some sort of control because he doesn't have that, like, at home or, like, feel like he has it over himself, which I have something I wrote about that later when they
Ooh.
have another moment, but
Yeah.
first we can talk about Lucas teaching Riley how to operate the board.
Oh my god. Oh my god. The scene again with the hands. Again with the hands because Riley is like touching the board, figuring out how to do the lighting or whatever. And she's also kind of nervous because she doesn't like want to mess it up because it's expensive. But Lucas, like he is realizing that she's a little bit scared, so he goes closer to her, like he leans closer to her, and then is helping her guide her hands to the right sliders. So his hands like resting like slightly on top of hers, and they don't realize how close they're standing. Okay, they don't realize. So this is just like out of his like it came naturally to him to be that close to her, to
Mhm.
help her out, to become like I don't know. It's just there's something about them. It was so beautiful the way that he helped her out. Like he didn't feel weird about touching her or anything. But also, I'm very pissed because that whole scene is
Well,
very
wait,
cute.
wait, hold on, because I wanna talk about when she says telling him why she understands why he likes being up there so much,
Oh yeah,
and that
yeah.
it's, like, away and quiet, but you can still see everything. She says the whole world is within your reach, even if you're safely on the other side.
Mm.
Which first of all, let me get into that before we get into the other part of that, but, like, I think that's really interesting because see, I know Maggie, and I know one of her favorite things from the original is the most like, most things come to me when it's quiet or whatever, which I think is really
Oh.
interesting. You think about, like, Lucas's background and, like, living in a very turbulent, loud environment where you're not safe. And even if you're alone, like there's always that threat looming of like his dad coming. And so I think this is interesting because it's like he's alone and he's okay, but he can see everything. Like he doesn't have to
Mm.
worry about like, oh, there's this unknown because he's, always like I think, especially when you are like a survivor of abuse is like to be hyper vigilant about like what's going on around you and your surroundings to take care of yourself. And so
Oh,
like this
wow.
is a place where he can know what's going on
Like, be in
and like have
control.
that control. Exactly, but like still have his own space and not like be inundated with all the drama of home and then all the drama of just like the school and everyone fighting. Like this is his one place for him, which I think is really like when you think of like who he lets up here and then like letting Riley up here is like a really big step to be like you are someone that I consider to be safe and trust enough to like come into my safe haven. You know what I mean?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Your mind, it amazes me. The way you made that
And
so deep, and like I can see your point of view. Like, that is incredible. I don't know how you did that. It's like your mind is like on another level. I was,
and then the
ooh.
other part of that is Riley says there's something I don't know beautiful about that, isn't there? But Lucas is looking at her.
I
He
I
thinks
love
she's
that trope.
beautiful. Yes.
I am a sucker for that trope where the person's like, "Isn't it beautiful?" Or like they're looking at something, they're like, "It's beautiful," and the other person's like looking at them like, "Yeah, it is beautiful." Like,
Yes.
it's
Okay,
so romantic.
now you can talk about what happens.
Yeah, I was
What
pissed
we're doing.
because they're so cute together, and guess what? Who interrupts them? Isadora. Why? Because apparently they're not doing their job. And she's like, "Come on, get it together." And then she fixes the board herself. I'm like, "Really? You couldn't have like let them do it for like another 1 minute or something?" It's only been 3 minutes that they have been distracted by each other. That's not a lot in a grand, like, it's not a lot. Okay? And as a stan, I feel like we get so many little moments. So she should have just let that continue on. But whatever. Also, this is not the first time that she interrupts them, okay? She's gonna interrupt them like 2 times. So unfair.
So next, as you are the in charge of Riley and Lucas moments, I'm in charge of Farkle and Ash. I can't even say it without laughing. So we 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 have Maya, Farkle, and Asher in the prop loft, and
Yep.
Asher is very methodical. My cheeks are very methodical about like how he organizes everything.
Mhm.
And as he's explaining that, Farkle promptly destroys a prop, and Asher starts freaking out. And I think that's, another piece of their hidden love story that not a
Honestly,
lot of
no, that I think the part that shows like how in love they are is the fact that when, even though Asher is like kind of like on the point of passing out because of what just occurred, he still is like, "Oh, don't worry, Farkle, it's fine." Like, because Farkle's apologizing,
exactly,
which is Farkle apologizing. That's something I have never seen. Like, and who
exactly.
does he do it
And he
for?
cleans Asher Garcia,
Exactly.
and 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 he cleans it up for him. Who
Mhm.
is cleaning up Farkle's message right now? No one except for him. So I think that they're kind of like the perfect match.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, they're like the babies of the school, so
Yeah,
just another
exactly.
similarity between a cute little ship.
Yeah. So then Maya makes a comment to Farkle like, "Oh, you're obviously a natural prop master," but Farkle is like, "Don't fucking say that shit." He's like, "Stop." So we see Farkle. He's going through it, man. I don't.
Yep. Well, I would like to say that he's trying his best, but I wouldn't know because he just seems like he doesn't even want to do his tasks. Okay, or maybe it's just because I hate him. I mean, I don't hate him, but
I
he's not my
miss
favorite right
you.
now.
I love you. I hate that I love you. You're welcome.
Thank you. No, that was beautiful. What's
So
what
next,
encore, 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 encore. Let's go. Is that the word? Did I say that right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'll sing for you later. Private showing.
Ooh, be jealous, listeners.
So next the techies are brainstorming their performance, which won't
Mhm.
be as good as mine was.
No, you're right.
Um, so they have like mostly silly suggestions, but Issa is like actually giving real ones.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
Nate is like, "Oh, like, are you into performing?" And she's like, "No, I just don't want us to be embarrassed, but I think she's into it."
Yeah.
And
He's
meanwhile,
trying to be
Lucas
low
is
key
like
about it.
really grumpy
When is he
and
not?
is like, "Fuck this, like they can't force me to do this." Rah. Um, so there's a bit of a conflict there.
Yeah. And while he's like talking about how he shouldn't, like they shouldn't perform, Dylan and Asher like they exchange looks like, what does it all
Mm.
mean? What's going on? Trouble in paradise?
Yeah, he heard about the Farkle and Asher thing. He was like, "You let him do that?"
You let him into
He
our
was
place? What's next?
mm.
Oh, okay,
Um
here's the next thing that Lucas says is so funny because Jade's like, maybe we should just approach this performance with an optimistic mind. And Lucas is like, I would rather cut my feet off with a rusty hacksaw than do this. And then Dave's like, well, that would hurt. And it's a frowny face.
he's so dramatic. I always love when he's like, I hate these drama queens, but bro,
He is
you
a
are
diva.
one.
Lucas, as a performer, he would be such a diva. I sincerely believe that. And I think that's probably why Farkle bullied him. He's like, we can't have
He knew.
two
He's like, this is
divas.
my competition. There's
He's like,
like
yeah,
there's already so many. He's like Zay's already there. I mean, I don't know how. I guess Lucas is like he's not necessarily a singer. He's more of like does guitar. But
yeah.
still. Okay,
Mm.
so next we have Sean and Angela at their home. They're making out and at least they're doing it somewhere appropriate
Oh,
once.
finally.
But then Jack comes rushing in and he's like, I have a lead on who leaked the tabloid. And he's like talking about like all of the steps he took. And then Sean says, God, you need a hobby or a hookup. And let me
That's so
just say,
funny.
Jack, I am there for you. I'm here with open arms and legs and heart and I'm there. Like, I will be your hobby and your hookup and your life. I will dedicate myself fully to you. Just let me, like, I will be there. That's all I had to say. So,
And she had you know how I was gonna say she has references. You know when you go to apply for a job, they call
yeah,
your previous jobs to make sure that you're a good person or whatever. It's like you're like
who the
auditioning
fuck
for
is my ref?
Jackson. Have your reference to be like, she's a good person.
Would you be my reference?
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you. That's sweet.
But then I would
Aw.
sabotage so that I could be can steal Jack. Sorry.
You.
I'm
I would
I'm
share with
joking.
you.
Oh,
Actually, no, you literally would do that because you literally would steal. You're like a
we could
fucking
be poly
star home.
together. No, I'm not a homewrecker. We can ask Jack if he's into
Yes,
that
you are.
later. Girl, you're stealing Eric's
Mm.
man. So I don't want to hear it. Right. So Jack's
Okay.
there because he finds something very important. Shows them that the IP address comes from Adams. Nobody saw it coming. I didn't. Did you, Emma?
No.
I thought I lost you there for a second. So I was like, oop. Right. And so basically, they're gonna get to the bottom of it.
Guess what?
Uh,
Isadora, he can do things. He's able to
Exactly.
find things out, get owns. You 15-year-old who's struggling with that.
Get
I'm just
on,
being he's
edgelord.
the
Honestly though, like smart
man.
on him to figure out the IP address, because I wouldn't have done that. I would have been like, oh, okay, well, it's out of my hands. I can't do shit. I don't give a shit about the students enough. Okay, like thank God Jack's actually doing something, because I mean, to be fair though, yeah, it sucks that it's been leaked that she's the daughter of a famous singer, but is it that important for the principal to go after this issue?
I think yes, because it was, like, obviously leaked by someone in the school, and it could be, like, an invasion of privacy because now she's gonna get, like, people stalking her or whatever, maybe.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot the celebrities have some weird things going on with them. All right, I detract my statement. I'm not a bitch. Okay, I think he's doing great.
Thank you. I have to
Oh my
defend him
god. Yeah, I know.
even though I'm yelling at him half.
No, you defend your
Okay,
man. I get it. Right.
so
The next
next we
scene.
have we have Maya and Katie getting ready in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and Maya's like, "Wow, now that I've worked for 2 seconds, I kind of appreciate all the hard work that you do."
She is so. Ugh. Okay, I'll be nice, but girl, your mom was working so
It's okay.
hard, and you didn't realize until you had to work hard. Okay,
It's okay. I
you're
get it because, like, if you're a kid or whatever, but yeah, it's okay. She's
like you.
appreciating her at least.
Yeah, at least she's at least she's not a, that's the one good thing about Maya, is that she could have been a whole bitch to her mom for like being poor or whatever, because you know how some people can like sometimes act out to the
Right,
people
like, take it
that's
out.
close. Yeah, and at least she's not like evil about that. She's like, I love you and I respect you and you're a total hard working mom, so at least she's
Mhm.
got that going for her. She's redeemable.
Yeah. So, we have the moment that we were talking about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
9 to 5, Dolly Parton.
It's a cute
Pour
little scene
myself
between
a
the
cup of
mom and daughter.
coffee.
They're singing together. A very good song by Dolly Parton. I am not a country like listener. I don't go for that. But Dolly Parton has some of the best songs. So
I was
she,
dancing in my seat. She
ooh,
ended Marx, like, she ended capitalism. Pour myself a cup of ambition.
yeah.
It's enough to drive you crazy sometimes. So I
I,
can't.
I'm dancing.
I
I'm
feel so
dancing to your singing.
I feel so bad. The
So
listeners, 'cause
Kate, Katie takes the lead on like the first verse when she sings "Pour myself a cup of ambition," and Maya's like laughing because it's like a nod to the title of the show, but it's also a title of our podcast. So I think personally, because of this, we should get maybe like a couple bucks just just for that.
we
You
literally
know?
stole it from them. Wait, from who?
Actually,
The show?
Sunny gave us the name, and I think it's because of this song, but also, yeah, I think it's because of the song.
Well, we also love coffee.
Oh yeah,
We're
I don't know.
coffee freaks.
It's been a year, okay? I don't remember shit, but I literally
Yeah.
forgot that that was like a lyric in this song. So when I was listening to it again, I was like, oh, wait a second, that's her name.
Dolly
That
Parton
is.
stole it from us.
I was like, this is so nice. But that was a very
She's
cute
a
mother
listener.
daughter. That was cute.
She
I
listens
liked
to
it.
the pod. That was sweet. I like that.
She
Um,
listens to the pod. What?
she time traveled and was like, "I made this line. It's such a good line."
I love that.
Um, okay, so next I have
Ooh, sorry about that.
Another scene it's all good. Another scene where Riley and Lucas are working together.
Oh yeah, right. Oh my god, they like had so many moments
So
this season. Like, I mean,
mhm.
this episode. Just we were being fed, to be honest, and I gotta thank the creators for that. You know,
Amen.
I appreciate it.
Um, so yeah, like Riley is trying to do set construction, but she's too delicate with them or whatever. And then Lucas helps her like with do the staple gun. Um, and it's another intimate moment or whatever.
Yeah, like they're
And then
touching.
Issa
Ugh,
stomps over and is like, it shouldn't be taking this long, and she like pushes them aside and is like, let me just do it, and then does it really quick. And I'm like, girl. Also, the point is like they're supposed to be struggling through it. Like, just just let
yeah.
them do it.
First of all,
Okay.
where the hell did she even come from? Like, you're not needed in this moment. Back off, Isadora. I know you're going through a lot right now because of your mom being exposed. I don't give a shit though. Okay, right now I only give a shit about RL. Okay, and in this moment, this is the second time that you've interrupted them, and she's not even nice about it either. Like she like pushes him aside, and then it's like, let me do it, and then she does it aggressively. Like she's
I-
tossing the tools back to Dave. Riley's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then Issa looks at Lucas and she's like glaring at him and she's like kind of mad and she's like, "Hello, you're slipping, bro." This is a moment, a big moment for Lucas because he's being vulnerable, allowing to touch another person. Like, and you're not seeing this, but whatever. Maybe she's not.
no,
She's not
she's
as
not.
obsessed with as me looking at Lucas. She has more important things to do. I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
It's just she doesn't understand social cues as often, which it makes sense, but it is frustrating, I guess, if you're
Like, where did she come from? Is the thing because she wasn't even in the scene. Like, I
she
understand that
stops her.
she
Oh, she's
like.
probably helping someone
I'll be nice. Ish. I'll be nice ish.
else. But we have another one.
Yeah.
Another moment to soothe you
Oh.
is they're doing costuming and Zay and Riley are doing it and doing Lucas, and Lucas is totally fine with her getting all the measurements and stuff, and Zay's like,
That's so beautiful.
um and Zay tries to help and he's like, get away from me.
He's like, I'm not dealing with this, okay? I'm not trying to get rabies from helping. It's so funny to me that how Lucas is always showing off cat cat boy behavior.
Behavior. He's
He
literally a
is
cat boy.
such an
This
cat woman. Oh my god. Oh, but before
triple
that,
A is
there
literally
there had been a scene like right before this moment where Jack and Eric are trying to figure out who the culprit is because they know it's in the school, but they don't think it's like the sophomore class who exposed Valerie's or Isadora's mom. So Jack's like, I need access to the databases, and Harley's like, I got you. I don't know
oh,
why
he's such a
I don't know why the janitor is in charge of that too, but you know, he is a man of many interests,
Harley
as
is
he says.
Harley is anonymous. He's the hacker group.
He just that's so he does it all from what's this school called? Hold on a
Triple A.
second. Triple A. Yeah, it's just like the outfit just hidden away and like that's so funny to think.
Can you imagine he does it from the janitor's closet? Oh my god.
That's so
Um,
funny.
we also have another costuming part where
Mhm.
Maya and Farkle and Issa is like excited about the performance, and Maya's like, you should audition for the musical. And they're
Mm.
like talking about the tabloid thing, and it's like she's like, whatever. And then Farkle interrupts her thinking about doing the musical because he stuck himself with a pin for the 14th time, and he yells "fuck." And I just think it's funny when Farkle. I'm I'm pointing it out every time. I'm so mean.
He honestly, Farkle, out of all the students, gets hurt the most, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is this is all due to the fucking blazer. I'll
It's a
never,
curse, man.
I'll never let him live that down, and I will continue to bring it up. I'm sorry, but I'm not really sorry.
When you create negativity in the world, aka
Mm.
wearing the ugliest outfit ever, then you manifest negativity in your life,
He's a threat to
and he should know that.
humanity.
It's a
Ugh.
fashion crime.
Right. Well, after that,
Um,
we're in like the lunch courtyard, and we're seeing the techies are discussing their performance, with Isadora being the one in charge because somebody has to do it. Okay, none of these bitches even know how to perform. Poor Lucas tried once. Okay, we saw where that got him. I like this part where he's like kind of like
yeah,
zoned out. Yeah, I'm sorry.
mhm,
Were you gonna say
go
something?
for it. No, go for it.
Oh, okay, okay. Like he's zoned out, and then Isadora's like, "Yo, hey, come on, where has your brain been this week?" And I like where he's like, he doesn't know, he just doesn't know because Riley took it and she won't give it back. Ah, it's like the confirmation that he himself knows that Riley's doing something to him. Okay,
Mhm.
he is seeing, we are
She's
seeing it. Yeah.
she's bewitched him. She's oh
Oh,
my gosh, you know
so
what he
good.
is?
What?
He's like her, like familiar. His little cat familiar of her
Oh my God, that's
Mhm.
it's all pulling together. It's because he's a
Exactly,
cat.
exactly.
I love that. Ugh,
Um, but yeah, so he's not focusing, and Issa snaps at him. She's like, "What
she's
the
done with
fuck are you
him.
doing?" And he's like, "What do you need me for if you're like enjoying this already? Like, why do you need me?"
He's
This
so
is
dramatic.
pissed.
And another little moment between
Um,
Dylan and Asher where like they're looking at each other like, what just happened? Ay.
then I'll be honest, I didn't even pick up on those parts of them looking at each other.
I mean,
So
I think it was
you have your
important.
eyes open.
Like I didn't think it
No,
was
it's
important.
important
But,
because
like,
later, but
yeah, exactly. But I was like,
um,
okay, who gives a shit about them looking at each other? I'm like, I don't like what is this doing for me? But now but now we know. They were they were
no, we
examining the what was going on with Lucas. They're kind of snitches, but whatever.
know.
I'm allow it.
um, okay, so we have this scene between Lucas and Farkle that I want to talk about.
All right, go ahead.
So Lucas is checking in on Farkle because he has to like sign off on everything,
Mhm, mhm.
and Farkle is flopping really hard with this costuming assignment, and Lucas says, "Look at that, still sucks."
Oh,
And he tells Farkle to try again, and Farkle is like, he's over it, and he's like, "I'm not doing this shit again." And Lucas is like, "Well, if you want to pass, you have to." And
oh,
Farkle says, "You're enjoying this, aren't you? Must be so nice to finally wield control over the people who are so frustratingly more talented than you. Does that make you feel better? Less inadequate?" Lucas says, "I'm not the one who's been stuck on the same assignment for 3 days because I can't figure out how to work a little
oh.
needle." So, okay,
Needle
let's get
dropped.
into it. Okay, so yeah, I want to get into it because we were talking about this a bit earlier, but I definitely think like Farkle is projecting here
Mm.
because he's in this position where for once like he doesn't know what he's doing. Like he can't rely on his talents. He is not getting all the attention. He doesn't have control over other people in the situation. and none of
Mhm.
that can be used to, like, make himself feel better. So all he can focus on his failures that he feels inadequate right now.
Mm.
But instead of actually facing that, he is, like, saying that Lucas is feeling that. You know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah, yeah.
"Oh, so you feel
He's, like, lashing out.
Um, yeah. I also think it's interesting, and I just thought of this, so I don't know. I feel like it's
Mhm.
stupid, but but
Well, now
but
I wanna hear
I think
it.
it's interesting that Lucas is like the idea that Farkle has been stuck on the same assignment for 3 days, and, like, I don't know, this idea that Farkle is fixating on this idea of, like, "Oh, these people are more talented, like, we're more talented than you," um, and, like, just not being able to really reconcile, not having any kind of control or, like, how to make the best of his situation, um, whereas Lucas, I think, is someone who he definitely is very grumpy about things, obviously,
Mhm.
and all these different things, but, like, when he came to AAA, like, he had to make the best of his situation and, like, just figure out how to survive, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's like, "Fine, like, I'm not in control of all these things, but I'm gonna, in some ways, try to make the best of it in terms of, like, befriending the techies and things like that." So, even though neither of them totally have, like, control or are necessarily the biggest people, you know good at socializing and all these different things. Like, Lucas is just kind of like, "Okay, well, that's my life." And, like, I'm just gonna figure out how to work the fucking needle to, like, get it done and keep going. And fine, I can't control it, whatever. Whereas Farkle is like, I can't, like, move past that idea that I'm like, I can't do this and that people are better than me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't know
Yeah.
how, like, stupid that is, but that's I don't know, I just think it's I don't know, I think it's interesting to look at
It's
their
like, "Well,
differences and their
well, listen here, Farkle. This is a taste of your medicine for being super mean to my boy Lucas." I'm just
mhm.
no, but I mean, I do feel bad because he's so used to being, like, quote, like, not always in control, but when he's, like, singing and he's, like, able to kinda be a bitch about it, and he's using his singing to feel more, like, confident, I guess,
Mhm,
having to do something completely different on the other hand, it's like, I feel bad for him on that. It could suck, but it's like, come on, dude. Both him and
mhm,
Lucas need to get over what they're feeling, because it's like, it's one assignment, okay? They're not even
mhm,
gonna have
that's
to do
very
this for
true.
the rest of their lives. Like, come on, let's get it together. Come on.
Yeah, that's
But
very true, yeah.
I'm also not sympathetic. I'm like, let's go. Come on, let's move it on. Let's move on.
Um, yeah, so Sean and Angela bring Lucas in to talk about the fact that he's not taking the assignment seriously, and she
Ooh,
says, like, "Some people have come to us, that they're, like, worried that your, refusal to participate is gonna bring their grade down." And he
yep.
gets pissed off and is like, "You can't force me to do this." And it's just like, literally, yes, we can. Like, it's an assignment. Um,
It's
and
like, I'm your
Lucas, like,
teacher.
I know for once it's like, oh, y'all remember, y'all are teachers.
Mhm.
Um, but Lucas gets pissed and like knocks off all the papers. And just like, what the hell? And Sean's just like, whatever. Like, this is how he is.
Sean is a cat
And
person and Angela's a dog person. So that's why Sean's like, I get it. I get it.
um And she's like, "You shouldn't be tolerating that." And Sean's like, "It's not that different when Farkle has a diva meltdown." So I guess there is definitely like we see the parallels. I guess I don't know. I
Mhm.
feel like I was maybe wrong to say that like Lucas goes with it because he really does fight things a lot of the time.
But
But I
like he
feel like
gets
he's
there.
a I feel like he's, at least compared to Farkle will be like, "Okay, well, I just need to like survival instinct type of thing, right?" Whereas
Mhm.
Farkle is like, he's very, I think of it as like, ugh, this is gonna sound so annoying, but like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is like, you know, this psychological, um, understanding of, like, how people act and, like, what they need in their life, right? So, like, it's a
Oh.
pyramid, and at the bottom is, like, your basic resources, like food and sleep and security, and then it keeps going, like, friendship and love
Oh.
and, um, self-actualization, which is, like, what doing things you wanna do and, like, who am I, and, like, all these things. And so the idea is, like, you have to get those basic needs met first before you can continue to, like, be
Oh.
the best you can be.
Oh, I
And, like,
see.
I
I
feel
didn't know
like
that. I Wow.
I feel like Lucas is, like, he j he just cares about having that security because, like we were talking about, he doesn't have that security at home. And so, again, he's not necessarily, like, the best him he can be yet because he's just focusing on that, but he's starting to have, like, friendship and love and stuff like that. But, like, Farkle has all of his security needs met because he's well off, but he's struggling with, like, having any type of friendship or love or, like, who am I? And so you know what I mean? Like, I keep on going off about these
No,
things
it's
that are
fine.
like, girl,
That's
shut up,"
interesting.
but, like, this idea of he you know, Lucas only cares about, like, "Okay, well, I just need to survive," and so he's caught up on all these other things, but I feel like isn't going to be as intense about, like, "Who am I?" and all these things like Farkle is because he's just I don't have the capacity to even be thinking about this right now, I just need to take care of myself. I don't know if that makes any
Interesting.
sense.
No,
Um,
no, it makes
I'm gonna
sense.
start I'm gonna stop talking, but
No, no,
yeah.
girl, this is a podcast. It's meant for talking, and I like to listen to you. So
Thank
if you
you.
ever need to go and talk, I mean, listen, I'm listening.
Yeah, here's the thing, is physiological needs. So, like, water and food and shelter and sleep. Safety needs is, like, your personal security and health, and so I think those are, like, kind of where Lucas is stuck, and, like, he does have some of the love and belonging, friendship, and things like that, and then you
Hmm.
have, like, your self-esteem, which is, like, your status and recognition, and your self-actualization is, um, to become the most you can be, and, like, obviously, all humans want to have reach their full potential and be who you can be, but it's the idea, like, you have to have all your other needs met.
Interesting. I didn't even know this was a thing. I'm like, wow, I'd be learning something new every day with Emma.
I
Man.
forced my nerdiness on you.
Look at her being studious.
Um, and so okay, sorry for that tangent.
No, I
But,
mean, like I said, it's totally cool with me. I
but,
like to hear it.
thank you, I love you. But, um Sean is a little, scared about Angela leaving and feeling inadequate himself.
Yeah.
And so we
Yeah.
have
Going
a
through
little
it.
moment over and over again, and they, like, dance to it.
Mhm.
It's a pretty short, like, description, so
Literally, it's like 2
2
sentences,
sentences, but it's okay.
which
It
is
was
so funny.
sweet, and I was like, "Aw, that's nice."
Also, I just realized I forgot to rank the last 2 performances. I'm gonna do that real quick. Strangers Like Me is a 9 out of 10.
Mm,
Beautiful. 9 to 5, also a 9 out of 10.
mhm.
And then this one, I put 5 out of 10. I'm not
Mm,
super into the song, and I don't really give too much attention to Chandra. Like, I don't really care about them that much, but it's a sweet moment between them. So
mhm,
at least you can enjoy it. Like, if I was watching this in person, I'd be like, oh, that's really sweet. Very
mhm.
nice. But it's also like
Um,
only 2 sentences, so I'm like, okay,
right.
let's move on.
So next we have Charlie trying to help Farkle because he's obviously struggling.
Yeah. Oh, let's see.
Um, and oof, Charlie is trying to be nice, but Farkle's like, she's like, she's like being
He's
hella
lashing
mean.
out again.
So I'm just saying these people need to watch their back because, but Zay steps in and defends him.
Ooh.
Um, and is like, look, we're here to be emotional support, but not your punching bag. So apologize to him. And then you can stop being a royal bitch to everyone who just wants to help you. He went off. And Freckle's like,
he he did
sorry.
what needed to be done, okay? Because
Mhm.
Farkle was being very frustrating, okay? We just saw Lucas get his, well, I don't want to say his wake up call because that comes a little later, but we saw Lucas also has to deal with, him not wanting to do his things, and Farkle's just so, like, he's not putting in the work, okay? Also,
Um,
he shouldn't have
so
been
yeah,
mean to Charlie, so.
exactly. So I love Zay and Freckles like dynamic of being like, he's just like, I'm gonna be straight up with you. Like, you need to stop.
Mhm.
And obviously I like that Zay steps in to defend Charlie. He's like, no, you're not gonna speak to him like that. Like
It's
everyone
hot.
steps on Charlie or ignores him, but Zay is like, no, I'm coming to his defense.
Ugh,
Um,
so good.
and we have this is a momentous
Occasion.
moment. A momentous moment. The first Zay and Charlie costume off
Mhm.
moment.
I think it's even more important than Maggie's birthday, and that's actually why we're here for the costume law first time. I'm
You
sorry,
are
Maggie.
so
That's actually why we came back because Emma had to talk about this.
I'll be honest, I didn't remember this, so I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, it's
But
such a nice little surprise. Right, all
yeah.
right. You have the
So
floor.
okay, well, I mean, I don't know if I have a lot of I mean, but it's like exciting. Um, but Charlie's like, well, you didn't have to do that. And then Zay's like, yeah, like I had to. Like, do you let people talk to you like that all the time? And Charlie's like, well, I don't know, like I just don't want to, you know, make a big deal out of things. And Zay's like, there's being polite and there's being a pushover. You're way too good to let people step on you like that. Which I was like, oh my gosh, you're way too
So
good.
good.
And he is starting to feel things more. So again, we have our cat boys feeling things.
There's a lot of little parallels between Charlie and like Lucas and then Lucas and Farkle.
There's
I
lots
like it.
going
Yeah.
on. Okay, do you want to take the floor?
Oh, I mean, whatever you want to do, because the next scene is like a little montage where it's just Lucas is trying to figure out which techie snitched on him, and he's like, it's kind of like a comedic thing, like because like Dave doesn't know what the hell's going on, but does he ever?
No.
I feel
And
like
that's
he's just going off vibes at all times.
yes.
But towards the end, he's like, he kind of has an idea who the suspects, like the prime suspects, are, and so the next scene, it's Asher and Dillard, show up to the booth because Lucas wanted to see them, and it's like he's kind of becoming like he's like doing good cop almost because he's like, do you guys want something to eat, a juice box? And Dylan's like, oh yeah, sure. Fun times with Techie Dad. That's literally what it says. And then once they were all like happy and shit, he's like, you bitches. You bitches. Like he's like trying to figure out, like, have them come out and say it rather than be like, so did you guys do this and that? And of course Asher's the one who cracks first because he's like, okay, we did it. And it's like, come on, Asher. Really? You couldn't have held on to that little piece of information a little more? He threw his man under the bus. Do I
He
think he would have thrown Farkle under the bus? No, I don't think so.
exactly. He says, "Oh, don't look at me like that. He's onto us. He knows. Look, you can see it on his beautiful withholding face." Asher's kind of like a cheater this episode.
Yeah, like right in front of your man? You're gonna say this? Bold.
He's getting with Farkle, he's getting with Lucas.
I mean,
Who's
to be fair, they
next?
had Asher and like the rest of the group kind of have like they're valid for their concern because Lucas is kind of being a Debbie Downer and ruining it for the rest of them. He ruined it. He ruined
Mhm.
it. Because everybody else kind of like looks towards him, and if Lucas is stressed and the rest of the group is stressed, they're like he's
Mhm.
like the mama duck and the rest of the little ducklings are following. So they're like
I love
apologizing, yeah.
I love this one moment where Dylan says, "Just please let Asher wear a blindfold." He's talking about like, oh, pushing them off the
The
the, the costume
catwalk.
lofty order. Yeah. And he's like, just let Asher wear a blindfold. He's scared of heights. Me, you can just look me right in the eyes when you like it's so funny.
He is such a dramatic little guy.
But yeah, so basically, like Kenny was saying, is like they see him as the leader of the group, but when he's shutting it down, everyone else like doesn't want to fuck with it. And Lucas is like, oh, like I'm a leader. um Which is like, when we see like where he goes in season 3, it's like, oh, like the growth. But
Yeah, so
um
sweet.
says it's evident despite his demeanor, Lucas does care about his techie crew and the way they perceive him. He doesn't care about much, sure, but the things he does, he'll do anything for. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, this was needed because after like he takes that in, he's like, "Oh shit, come on, he's gonna have to do something." And I think it's good because at least I do wish they wouldn't have brought in like the teachers, like way to snitch on your man's like, whew,
Yeah, yeah, he asked them if you do this again, just talk to me about it. Like, don't.
literally, like
um,
damn, what happened to loyalty? I'm sorry.
um, no, I get you. So, meanwhile, Farkle is still flopping. He has no one to help him because he just pissed everyone off. But Riley, who is the school therapist now,
Literally,
checks in on
she is putting Eric out of his job.
him jealous. There's one Matthews here who is helping, and it's not the people who are in the staff. I'm just
Literally.
saying. So she checks up on him, and he says he just feels out of control and he feels less competent, and then like everything, then he feels more out of control and more incompetent, blah blah blah. And Riley is like, yeah, man, like I have shit out of my control too. Like my parents are divorcing, all this stuff. And she's like, you can only control what is in your control, and this is not actually that like
Bad.
egregious, turbulent thing. Like you can do this for sure. And so it's this nice moment where it's like the protagonists are having a little friendship moment.
Yeah, it was cute. Like once again, Riley helping out another person for free, just because of the goodness of her heart. But
I need
also,
her.
it's a cute little moment between like a growing friendship. Like it's slowly they're getting there.
Mhm. And when we see this moment where Val messages Issa and is like, sorry for all the tabloids. Um, and Issa just ignores her. So we have mommy issues. Um, and she's like, she's still trying to consider, do I want to audition or not?
She's going through it. Also, it's so funny how Valerie's like, yeah, hey, sorry about the tabloids. Like, she's not gonna say like, hey, how are you, mama? Like, what's going on? No, she's just like, sorry,
But she said she would take
get
care of it,
good.
which is like sweet.
I mean, but at that point, it's like, what? It's too late.
Yeah,
People
that's true.
in Hollywood, it's like once it's out, it's out.
That's
People will
true.
continue to talk about it, and her entire secret is known. So,
Mm.
ugh,
Okay,
Lord,
Hanny, it's your time.
this the next scene is Lucas is trying to like teach himself the choreography for the performance that they're supposed to do, and he's like, the poor man is struggling. Okay, he's not good at this. Guess who comes in? Riley. She's like taking a chance to like just examine what's going on, to observe, and she's like, all right, let me help this fool, because it's embarrassing me. It's hurting me and my homegirl seeing this. So he's like, I'm gonna help you walk the steps. Ugh, it's so sweet. Okay, whatever. He's like, okay, fine, I'll allow help. He's like, I don't want your help, but I'll allow it. And guess what? They start dancing. she like holds out her hand, and then he holds it, and they're dancing. First of all, the Princess Diaries waltz instrumental. How do we feel?
I enjoyed it. I honestly I forgot about this entire sequence.
No, me too.
Um but then that was like, whoa, like I was like, this is so sweet. Like this is such a cute moment. I didn't realize. Like, I don't know, I enjoyed it a lot.
No, I completely forgot about this scene. I was like, oh my god, wait a second. They're dancing?
Even though we did like a few months ago we did like, oh, ranking the best like like romantic performances on Ambition. But I just totally forgot about this, even though that was one of them. But I was just like, I don't remember this, but
I'm like,
I
damn,
love
there's so many things that you don't remember. Like, when you go back and reread, you're like, damn, what?
like this part when she's saying, "That's your problem. You're overthinking. You keep looking at your feet." She
Oh,
reaches
God.
out and lifts his chin, putting them back at eye level. Lucas locks eyes with her. Just look at me. And then Lucas is like, no, he's in love, baby. He's in
That
love.
was, honest to God, I had to take a breather, like a moment to just scream. And it was beautiful. Just the fact that he's allowing himself to even be vulnerable. Because he wouldn't have accepted her help, let's say, like in the beginning, like in the first couple of episodes, he would not have allowed that. And she touched his chin. They're like eyes are locked on each other. He's like even having fun because he like eventually he's like twirling her under his arm. And it's like they're having fun. They're like he's loosening up, and then guess who comes in? Isadora. Luckily, she doesn't interrupt the moment, but she's like looking at them and she's like, "Oh, wait a second. Something's different about Lucas," but she doesn't know what it is. And she
Hold
doesn't
on.
interrupt, and but she feels a little bit worried because she's like, if they're changing, what does that mean for her? And like, what else
Hmm.
is gonna change in the process? So she just like backs off and leaves. I'm like, oh, I kind of felt bad for her in this moment because she needed a friend.
Sorry. We have to let RL be horny together.
I mean, after like all the interruptions, this was a really nice
I know this
moment.
this is the one time where it's like, oh, she would be warranted to really interrupt.
No, for
But
real though. But that's what
but
she gets for
sorry,
interrupting them.
you used them up.
3 strikes, you're
Um
out.
and so we see Jack and Eric trying to work to do the IP address thing. And
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh, maybe when we have the same goal, we do actually work together." Like,
They're
no
so funny.
shit. And the person who submitted it is Marley Evans, who is
Mhm.
a singer, I think. Yeah.
I don't know who the hell she is, to be honest. I
She
was
was
like,
in
"Who is Marley?"
the original. She was like one of the classmates in season 3 who was like kind of fucking annoying.
No,
Um,
well, I don't remember that bitch, so but she was the one who snitching on Issa. So, and they figured it out. Like, look at
yeah.
them. Let's go, Gen X.
Let's go, hags. Okay, now we have this iconic performance.
Dare I say, one of the best performances.
Mhm. Do, 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 do. I was that's the intro. You're welcome.
That was no, that was beautiful. So the performance by the Techies, and they're performing "Dancing Queen" as performed by Mamma Mia original movie cast. Let's go! Honestly, that's such a good song. Um,
It's a bop.
a bop, and also this entire sequence is beautiful. We're seeing the Techies perform, and they're also kind of interacting a little bit with the performers who are in the audience, like Nigel and Nindra, Pat, Jeff, and Nate on the backs as they sashay their way past them. I'm like, ooh, yes, we love to see it. Dylan and Asher blow kisses to Riley. We love that. Isadora is the one who's doing like most of the singing, and it's like fair enough. She is the best of
He's
the techies vocally, I guess.
yeah. Although Dylan has a
Um.
couple lines.
Oh yeah, he does have a little line. Good for him. Good for him. Doesn't Asher also sing?
And this one?
No, like he like sings pretty good, doesn't he, Asher?
Yeah, he does. But he's like, I don't want to perform in front of people and like let people see that. But then we see a little bit of an arc later on in the series.
We love that. Um. Oh God, where was I at? I
You're
don't remember.
forgetting the most important one.
No, I know. I'm like, but I'm trying not to get there just just yet. But
No, who
like,
cares? Just talk about it.
no, wait. Dave gets a little mini dance
Oh yeah.
solo, and like it's bad, but it's so cute because it's like the robot, and he's moonwalking. Jeff is like the best dancer because he's like breakdancing. And then there is a moment, where it's I don't know what moment it is, but there's a moment where Lucas is directing his point to Riley, and he winks at her. Y'all, Lucas and winking in the same sentence, and who does he do it to? His girl. Done.
Who
I'm
would have
done.
thought?
He allowed himself to be goofy and also kind of direct towards Riley because he didn't need to wink. He could have just been like pointing to her, right? He took that extra mile to wink. And then Riley has like a really cute little like reaction. She's like hides her face in her hands, but she's like smiling. It's very
So
sweet.
sweet.
So like I'm telling you, it's one of the best performances.
So yeah, what's your
My
ranking?
for this one, I put 9 out of 10. There's a lot of 9 out of 10s in this one. Okay, this was
Not
fun.
a 10 out of 10?
Yeah, 9 out of 10. What?
Why not 10 out of 10?
It always feels like too much to give. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
It
It's
has to
like
be
10
like
out
a
of 10.
impactful.
Like I think it was all very cute. Okay,
Okay. I'm not
like it.
saying that's wrong. I was just wanting to know because you're saying it's one of the best performances. So
Uh,
I'm
and it's.
interested to see what you do for 10 out of 10. I think I know one that would be a 10 out of 10 for you.
I mean, oh, which one? I'll put you on the
Never mind.
spot. No, I'm just kidding. All right. I don't know. Maybe
I
I
know
will
what
give
I'm
it a
gonna
10
think,
out of
but
10. Now I'm like, wait,
no,
what?
I don't want to question your thing. I was just wondering. It's in season 3, the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. See, I can't even say because I don't remember. I'm like, what happens in season 3? I
Well, we'll
literally have.
find out later.
It's all
We'll
those
find out
books I'm
in
just reading.
5 years.
Oh my god, yes.
God, don't talk about this book.
No, I won't. I won't. So it's
No, you
very sweet, very iconic. Everybody's having fun. The techies are performing real well. And you know, it says one of the best numbers in the full series of Ambition. Yeah,
real.
for real.
Okay. So after that, we have a Charlie and Zay moment where they're cleaning up and they're like, "Good job for not imploding the class." Even though, like, I feel like I guess they kind of did stuff. It's okay. I'm not mad at them because that shouldn't have been their job in the first place.
What did they
Um,
do? Zay literally like was
yelled.
like, "Yo, Farkle, stop being a bitch."
I mean, it was deserved. So, anyways,
Exactly.
I was like, "Thanks, Zay, for standing up," and Zay says, "I'll do it anytime. I had a really fun week with you." And Charlie's like, "Hee hee 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 hee." And then Zay's, "I think I might take that offer to hang out." And Charlie's like, "Yeah." And Zay smiles to himself. So Charlie is not the only one feeling things.
Zay's like, "Oh, is there something going
Um,
on between us?" Also, I was when I said that Zay and Charlie didn't really do much. To be fair, Eric wouldn't be able to call Farkle a bitch to his face, so I think they did a lot. Yeah, Zay did a lot.
well, they're also like teaching choreography. Like, yeah, like maybe they didn't do the most in the world, but I don't know, they kind of did. And again, it shouldn't have been their job to do it in the first place. So like they did good for the fact that Eric literally didn't tell them what to do or how to do it, but just like do it.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. they did the best that they could in their circumstances.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, we have this scene which I totally forgot, but it's kind of interesting. Where Maya tells Issa, "Girl, audition like you were
Mhm.
good." And Issa is nervous too because of like her mom and all the baggage and like this idea of, I guess, like following in her path or whatever.
Mhm.
And Maya, there's like this moment where she kind of opens up about her dad and she's like, I'm more like my dad, who's like, an awful dude and like left her and like her um Katie and stuff like that. Um and she's talking about like all of her like ambition, all these things that like are a part of her that are like come from him. And she's like, he's a part of me, even if I wish he wasn't. So I embrace it instead because I'm pretty awesome and I'm not holding myself back because of him. Which I thought was
Mhm. Yeah.
interesting. I think it kind of helped me understand her a little bit more. Like again, I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know, with her is always gonna be one of those things where I'm like, it's a bit of a, a
Yeah,
struggle.
you can't
But
fully love her.
I feel like I don't know, it made me understand her a little bit more and sympathize with her a little bit more and like the things that she's gone through and stuff. Um,
Mhm. Yeah.
so yeah, I enjoyed that like moment of depth because I think sometimes for me, I forget about that stuff and I feel like, oh, like she's just being annoying. I mean, okay, to be fair, like sometimes she is just being like annoying, or like sometimes I just forget that like she has other stuff like going on. You know what I mean? So this was like a
Yeah.
nice moment because we see more about her and she's also like trying to help Issa and like help her feel confident in what she's supposed to be doing. So I thought this was like a nice scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. She feels a little bit more human. We get to see
Mhm.
a little bit more into her like her life and personality and things like that and be like, "Oh, well, she has daddy issues."
Um and so Issa is like, yeah. Right? Like I don't remember this performance
She
as
like
much.
she's like basically like, "Okay, thanks for your thanks for your advice." And then she like sings a song um kind of to God, what the fuck happened?
I'm looking I just
Like after
it just
that, I don't
mentioned
remember.
it just says she's thinking like, do I want to perform? And then she is empowered to do self-expression and she's like, I'm gonna pursue this, basically, is like her vibe. Like, I'm gonna try performing.
Oh yeah, her song was she performs a song which is "Free as a Bird" by Emily Emma Sande Sande. I don't know. I can't even say her last name. I should have googled that before. It's a nice moment. Okay, because we get to see her. Well, first of all, the song's really good. I like the performer's, like the singer's voice. It's very nice. I don't know. Did you hear it? Did you listen to the songs?
I didn't listen to the songs. It didn't stick out to me as much, but like
Yeah,
it
there
was
was
good,
like
I guess.
again, it was like another 2 sentence thing, and it's like and we're done. But I did like. I mean, was it my favorite? No, I ranked it at a 7.5.
Mm.
So a
Yeah, that's
second
fair.
second second lowest one. I like that, Isadora, she has a good voice. Rarely get to hear it in the first season, so
Mhm.
good for her.
Well, we're hearing it soon.
Mhm.
Um, After
Next
this,
scene, yeah.
Beth confronts Marley about leaking to the press, and she did it to like get some money to help pay for college.
Yeah.
And
Which
he's
like
like,
okay.
"This invasion of privacy is warrant for expulsion." And she's like, "How can Lucas get away with everything, but not me?" Which I was like, "T." Um,
Exactly.
and she's like, "Okay, well, maybe you should rethink trying to expel me because I know something about who runs the confession page."
Mhm.
Which like I feel like can you negotiate plea deals like
At
at
school.
school? I don't know. But I mean, I feel like I was
I
debating
don't know.
whether or not I want this to be an infraction, but I feel like, to be honest, even though okay, like, I think what she did was bad, I don't know if I would warrant expulsion over it,
Yeah, like
especially
suspension maybe.
especially, compared to, like, all the things that Lucas does. So I agree with her in that sense. Like, I don't obviously, it was not right for her to do that, but, like, you know what I
Jack
mean?
is very severe with his punishments, but when it comes to Lucas, he's like, he's just a baby. Yeah, I
Literally,
think
like,
maybe suspension would have made sense. Like, oh, 2 day suspension. She's like, oh, okay, cool. But expulsion? What the
yeah,
hell?
I think I don't think they said yet if she did. I think next episode we find out, but I think she doesn't get expelled. I think she just gets, like, suspended and maybe, like, she can't go to prom or something, like, I don't know, so, like, some shit like that.
I wonder what
But,
the information she said was because it doesn't say what she has about
well, I
the
think we
confessions
find that
page.
out next time, if I'm not mistaken,
Okay,
right?
good. I hope. 'Cause how they
Well,
gonna leave me on? I think what?
I think it's, like, she like, there was information in, like, the message. I honestly
Ooh,
can't remember, whatever.
we'll
Like,
find out
if you
next time.
submitted. But then we have the last song.
Mm, another
You
it's
know.
Glee.
Yeah,
Mm.
we're such haters. But lean
I
on
was like,
me.
I saw when I was listening to the song, I was watching the video of the Glee performance.
Oh,
God,
how was it?
I can't. It feels like a fever dream, to be honest. Like everything that came out of Glee just feels like it shouldn't have come out. Like it's just so wild to
There's
me.
dark demons
It's
tied
just
with it.
yeah, like it feels cursed. Like the amount of cursed things that come from Glee is too much. But I mean, this scene was cute. Again, like I like
You
that
have
we're
to be.
seeing the performers and the techies being nice to to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it as, like, a nice little bonding moment. Um, and I like the regular song, it's fine. So
Yeah.
so it was a nice little, like, aw.
A nice scene. Like this okay, first of all, this episode is great. I don't know if you can hear my dogs in the back. I'm sorry. I like this scene, like this episode a lot due to the fact that there's I mean, angst is good and drama is good, but sometimes it's nice to take a little break to see the group be friendly with each
Yeah.
other.
There was
Okay.
there was some reprieve this episode, and it was just kind of, like, more nice thing.
Yeah, like it's good to see how this gets ruined at the end of the
Immediately.
season, which is like, oh damn, we had it for a moment, but whatever. It was cute, and I ranked this performance an 8.5 out of 10. So not quite 9, but not quite 8.
Okay, so that's the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we have our little wrap up.
Yeah.
Um, my infractions, I just had the 2. I just had Sean and Angela making out and Eric
Mm-hmm.
asking Zay and Charlie to do what it should be his job.
Exactly. Which is,
Um,
I feel like this is the least amount of fractions in an episode, right?
no, it was
Which is like, wow.
like you said, there wasn't as much drama going on.
You're safe for
S
now.
What would Emma Han do? If you don't remember, um, shame on you. Emma
Because we're like
Han
the most important characters.
literally is the B class, but it's us. So my question, for this episode is, what techie job would you want to do? Or, like, what do you think would be
Uh,
good at?
I well, I don't know, cause you're a good singer.
Thank
Are we
you.
so wait, are we a performer or techie?
I think we're a performer.
Okay, cause so we would be doing techie
It would
work.
be
Okay.
work, yeah. So that's why I'm asking, like, what, like, there's, like, costuming and, like, prop and, like, moving
Uh,
things and, like, lighting. Um, like,
mm,
what would you, or, like, what would you be interested in?
I think the least amount of work would be the best. So probably lighting, I guess, cause you just have to stand up
Mm,
there and like move things around.
hmm.
But
I
I
would
think
be
it would
nervous for that, cause, like, I feel like it's expensive and you have to, like, watch the performance and, like, the performance is, like, riding on you like doing the not all of it, but like it's a big part of the performance. Like you have to be like doing it at the right time and doing the right thing. Because like if you hit the wrong button, then everything is like something embarrassing could happen.
That's true. We don't want that to be on our shoulders. I guess maybe because I don't have the experience of what these students go through. I would sometimes see movies where I'm like, oh, they look at them in the background working on like the sets and shit like that. I feel like that would be kind of fun,
Mhm. I would
being able
think,
to build something.
yeah, I would think I think the two that would be good at is like one, I think set would be fun. I think I'd be maybe like scary to have to do that, but like even just like building or like just moving the things, I think would be fine. Cause it's like it does rely on you, but you don't have to be doing it like during the performance.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Um,
once the performance is done, you can be sitting.
but then the other thing is like I would it would be cool because like you do like crocheting and stuff like that, like to do costume. I guess doing all those costumes, but like you know what I mean? Like I feel like you could do something cool or like I don't know, create accessories or like was it like is what's the word I'm looking for? I don't
I
know, but
don't.
like you can like add those little accents or something. I don't know, that could be cool. But I'm deciding that for you,
True.
so you can decide that for yourself. But
I
I was
just
just
feel
thinking like,
like
oh,
if they give me the money to like, if they have the yarn and shit ready, then yeah. But I feel like would they have the yarn ready? Who knows?
I think it's the thing is like crocheting is so time consuming.
It
And I
is.
probably would I used to sew, but like I was not like I mean I wasn't like professional level or anything. So like I feel like I would like all the seams would rip like when they're on
Yeah,
stage and like
I'm
they're
not
just
good at
naked.
sewing. I've tried to learn. My mom has tried to teach me, but it's so difficult to remember the things. I'm
It's
like, where
hard.
does
And
it
I
go?
hate using sewing machines because it scares me. Like I feel like I'm gonna like get my
Yeah,
hand
they
punctured.
make a lot of noise too. So I'm like, oh,
Like,
mm.
um,
And my hand
favorite
would be a little
character.
would be doing a lot. I
Yeah,
guess just doing a little bit of
I think
everything.
I think we can decide on sets. Doing something with sets because we're both like down for
Period. Let's hope Lucas doesn't break it.
that. Oh my god. Um, my speaking of him, he was my favorite character for the episode.
I could not pick out a single favorite character. Like I just feel like I enjoyed most of them, with the exception of Farkle and Maya. I feel like Maya wasn't in this one as much, so I can't really.
I didn't even put her for least fave. Like I didn't have anyone that I hated
Yeah,
this
I
episode.
didn't have a least fave. Like I enjoyed all the characters, and so that maybe to cop out, but that's my answer.
Okay. Your favorite dynamic.
Well, we know this one.
I
We
think there's
know
only one possible answer. It's Riley and Lucas. I mean,
it's
Zayn and Charlie had
Scarminkus.
some.
No, it's Riley
Wait,
and Lucas.
oh, that's so true because like they had like and like no one talks about this, but it's like kind of a major episode for them.
Yeah, I agree.
But like the people don't have their eyes open, so it's just kind of like I don't know. It's frustrating when it's like right there, but people like don't see it. Like I don't know how they couldn't, but
Deniers. It's like,
literally,
when will you open up and see the truth? But yeah, from fave dynamic, it was Riley and Lucas for sure.
yeah. Like even though I like Zayn and Charlie, obviously, it's just like literally Riley and Lucas were so good.
Yeah, they came through for us.
They did.
All right, Dilf ranking.
Wait, what's your favorite performance?
Oh shit! Right. Okay, so this one is a tie,
Mhm.
which is with Strangers Like Me, and then the Mamma Mia one.
Okay. Mine, I'm gonna say Dancing Queen, but I also think the waltz, even though that's like not really performance, but I think those are my two favorites.
Yeah, that was a good moment. A waltz.
Okay,
They ate.
they did. Still ranking. The reason people tune in.
Right. You're the Dilf ranking.
Fucking yawning like, okay, that must be.
I'm sorry. I
We've
literally,
been
it's because
talking
I
for
woke
like
up. I woke up early. You know, I'm trying my best. I haven't had
it's okay.
water. I'm
What?
thirsty. The conditions that I'm being worked on. This podcast. I'm
I'm
not being
feeling
paid.
me either, bitch. Like, okay, get over it.
All right. No. What's your deal ranking?
Okay. Number 1, I mean, it's Jack.
Yeah.
He showed up. He was sexy. He did things. 2,
Yeah.
Sean. Sean was hot. He had time with his girlfriend. He was there. Number 3,
Her.
Harley. I like a little hacker man. I like to see his different skill sets. And
Yeah.
number 4, Eric. He really didn't do much this episode except for pawn his job off to students. It's not a, he did something wrong to be last for me,
But he just did
but he
not
just
warrant
didn't do
a
nothing.
better ranking.
He wasn't really giving to me. So Jack,
Exactly.
Sean, and then Eric is mine.
Yeah. Well, mine was slightly similar. Just that I put number one as Jack and Sean.
Mhm.
They
Okay.
shared that first place. I completely forgot about Harley. But you're right. He did help out the people, and for that, I'll bump him up to number two,
Okay, nice.
which makes Eric the last one. So I'm sorry. He
Sorry,
wasn't.
like you need to do more.
He wasn't giving what needed to be gave, and unfortunately for him, it's just he's not getting a good ranking from me.
No. I feel like we put him last time, but I'm sorry, what is he doing? Right now, not that much
Nothing.
this season.
Exactly.
And it's hard because I have my biases
I'm
for Jack. Um,
going on.
oh
I'm
my gosh,
going
wait, I
completely off bias. I'm doing it based because sometimes I put Eric as number one. I just want people to know that.
well, that's the point is it's the one that you want to fuck, so it's all bias. It's subjective.
I guess you're
I was
right.
looking, I put Sean first last time. Wow.
Oh, what did
I
Sean do
don't know.
last time?
He was like the revolution.
Oh
I
yeah.
think I found that sexy. I was like,
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
yeah.
Go Sean. Go Sean.
I guess I don't put him very often high. I feel bad for Eric. Sorry. You have to be more sexy later.
Well,
Um,
oh Jesus. I just made a really loud noise. I'm sorry. I
I
don't know
think
if you
that's
heard
the
that.
episode. You're
Yeah,
fine.
that was the
You're
episode.
fine. Thank you so much for listening. I, apologize for going on many tangents and that we are getting our footing again, I guess. Um,
Yeah, thank you for
yeah.
listening. I'm not apologizing for the tangents. I enjoy listening to Emma talk, and I love to talk. So suck it. You know
What a
what you are
heartwarming
signed up
sentiment.
for. But peace and love.
Um, so yeah, we don't know when we'll post next. So just
Just
keep your peepers peeled. I'm still saying that.
I love that.
Um, maybe I should stop, but you know what? I won't. So goodbye.
Period. Goodbye.